Hello everybody, I am going to show you how to make a very simple and basic wire wrap bead. Now what you will need a set of beads, and this size bead is just 8mm bead, and you can use larger, smaller, it all depends on the project that you're making. You're going to need some head pins. You will need some, I'm using some bent nose pliers. My other pliers, I don't know where they are, but we're using the bent nose pliers. We are using some nipper tools, cutters. These are flesh cutters that I have in my stash. And you would need some needle nose pliers. And don't judge me, they are more than 20 years old and they are the best. And I am also going to show you how to use the crimp tool. And using the crimp tool, it will really shape your wire and make it stand up at attention. So I'll show you that at the end. So let's get started, and we'll go ahead and make the beads. First of all, these are the pliers. You're going to take your wire, and you are going to insert it into your beads. Okay, hold on a sec. That is a little bit blurry. Let me see if I can kind of clear this up for you a little bit, and let's see if I brought it up just like that. Okay, I think that is much better. Now you're going to take your pliers. Now the needle nose are tapered, meaning they are small at the end, and they gradually get larger, or they're larger here and they taper off smaller. So you are going to find you a little spot in here. Normally what I do is I will take my marker. Now this will come off, so you have to keep putting it on, but I will put me a marker right there so I will know the size of my beads. So we'll give that a second to dry, and we will proceed with the beads. Okay. Now you've already inserted your wire into your bead. What you're going to do now is to go by that little line that you have marked. Now if you don't mark it, that's fine. It's not a big deal. But you just need to remember where you inserted your wire, so that all your loops will be the same size. Now what you're going to do is take the top of this wire. Going to take the top of this wire, and you are going to bend it over the cylinder. You see what I'm doing there? Bend it over. And I like to kind of push it down a little bit, and that wire is away from you. And it tends to twist a little bit, but that's not an issue. You just put it back in place. Now you notice the angle of the pliers. They're flat. Notice the way this little part here is flat. Now, but what you are going to do now, you are getting ready to make your loop. So what you're going to do is to hold this at the very end. Hold it. And you are going to release the pliers. Just release it. And you are going to put it back in. Now you notice you don't have that flat circle. That's your flat circle right there. You have actually rotated your pliers. And this wire is still bent away from you. It's still away from you. Now what you're going to do now is shape your loop. You're going to pick up the end again, and you are going to just bring it over. See how I did that? Now you will be tempted to bring it all the way down. Don't do that, not just yet. So what you're going to do again is to release. You don't have to take them out, but just release. And I'm going to go over this again with you. Now what you have done is gone back to that flat bed part of your pliers. Now you are going to take the tip of that wire, and you're going to bring it down to the very bottom of your mat. And bring it around. Bring it all the way around from you again. Now that loop, you may have to work at it to make it a perfect loop, and that is fine. Now that loop is already formed. Now what you need to do now is this is the last part. This is what's going to make your loop. Just hold it up in your hand. Now you're using your right hand if you're right-handed. Now switch it over to the left. Keep it closed. And that wire should be facing you at this point. Notice you have your cylinder standing up now. The whole your pliers are standing up and your wire is facing you, and you have already formed your loop. Now what you need to do next, you need to take your pliers. I'm using a chain though, but take your pliers. Doesn't matter what pair of pliers you have, but just take them. And what you're going to do is to begin to wrap. That first wrap is away from you. Now don't just keep twisting. You make that first turn because you notice it's bent in the wire. If you keep turning, that wire would twist. So you would just make that first turn, pick up that wire again, and bring it over again. Now, what you don't want to do is, you don't want that wire on top of it, on top of that other wire. You are going to wrap that wire right next to it. And you are going to, again, just slowly wrap. There you go. And let me see if I can change the view for you. Okay. That is 3 wraps right there. And if you notice, that wire, there's just a tiny little piece in there. Once you cut this piece of wire, you are going to tuck it in, and it's going to go up underneath that wire. So what we'll do next, take your nippers or your cutters and get as close as possible. Hold your hand over so you won't lose your wire, or your wire won't go flying across the room. Now that's where you should be. And if you feel that that is too much wire, take your pliers again and force it down in there and cut some more of that wire off. Again, you need to hold it because it will fly away. That is your loop. Now, what we're going to do next, now you can actually take your nippers or your your pliers, and you can go around and just kind of flatten them out until until the wires step into place. But what I really like is the what are they called? What I like is the using your crimp pliers. And you would use that first chamber, and you would just slightly squeeze. Don't choke it, just lightly squeeze and turn. 1, 2, 3, turn. And that will tuck that wire in. And that is a perfect wire. Normally, if it's kind of wonky a little bit, what I will do is I will take my pliers, the cylinder pliers, I will put them back in, and I would just kind of twist it a little bit, take it out, do the other side, because you want to make that circle perfect. And I would also just take the pliers and kind of bend it a little bit if it needs. That is a perfect wrap. Tuck that wire in. There you go. You just have to fiddle with it until you become good at it. That is a wire wrap. That is it. Now what I'm going to do is show you this again. Let me bring back the okay. Make sure we are focused here. Again, your wire, your head pin, get your bead. You're going to insert. Get your needle nose pliers. Establish the size loop that you want. Take it that very top. You are going to pull it away from you. Remember, you got your pliers are flat. Now what you're going to do is to hold this wire, rotate the pliers, stay within that bend. Now you shouldn't be able to go past that bend. Stay within that bend. This is where you should be. Again, remember now you've twisted your pliers from here. You've rotated them over. And your cylinder, what you're going to do again is to take this wire and you are going to bring that wire across that cylinder. Now again, you are going to hold the tip of that wire. You're going to rotate those pliers again. You're rotating them back to the top. And now you are going to twist that wire all around that cylinder. And my hands are not that strong, so I will take my pliers and I will just pull that wire to make certain that it's wrapped around that cylinder. Again, I am going to switch hands. Hold those pliers tight. Just switch hands. Now this wire should be facing you. This wire, this point should be pointing at you. Now some people take their finger and can just roll it around. I can't do that. I take my pliers, I'll take the very top, and I will start wrapping. And I'm wrapping away from me. And you just count your wraps so they will all be even. And pay attention because you want your wire to go right next to the other. Just right next to it. You don't want it sitting on top. You want it going next to it. And you will know that you can't wrap it again because it'll sit on top of another bead. So the size where I put mine, it will only allow me to do 3 wraps. And what I will do is take that out, get my nipper tool, my cutters, and I will go in as close as possible on that bead, hold that wire, and I will snip it. I will either take my little pliers here and I will tuck that wire under, or, which I use quite a bit, I will use my crimp tools and I will just I'm actually rotating that bead. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm actually rotating that bead. And that's that wire. That's that wire wrap. Let me see if I can. That's it. You have 3 reps. I will show you one last time. Practice make perfect. That's the key. You practice. Sorry about the way it looked, but that's okay. I'm going to get this bead. We are going to insert it into the hole. Get my round nose pliers. Now, stand them up straight like this. That very tip, remember, you are going to pull it away from you. Remember your pliers. See how flat they are? That's the position that you want. Now you're going to rotate your pliers, but hold this. Let me see if I can adjust that again. Remember, it won't go past that bend, so you don't have to worry about it. That is coming off. You can always put them back in there. And remember, you've rotated your pliers. Now you're on the side. And you are going to take this bend, which is away from you, this end of this wire, you're going to take it away, and you are going to bend it over. Hold the end of the wire. Rotate the pliers back to that flat part. Now you're going to take your wire, take that bend, and if it keep moving on you, that's not a problem. Just reposition it till you got a hold to it. And you are going to take that wire and bend it around that cylinder. Like I said, I've used my pliers to make that loop, and I pull it. Rotate your pliers. Now, you are going to hold your pliers together, switch hands. Your circle is already made. You may have to kind of jiggle that just to make it fit. Take your pliers. Now you are going to twist. When you twist, try going up towards your needle nose. Not straight, but just do a slight bend just to get that first loop. And once you got that first loop, start wrapping right next to the other, not on top. Do it slow. There's no race to be ran here or won here. So there's 2, and you're going to do that 3rd loop. And that's it. I just cut that wire. And I will take my crimp pliers, and I will turn or rotate that bead. And that's a good looking bead. Now, I have done 4. 4 beads. So hopefully you got it this time. If not, just give me a call. Okay. Bye.